Okay, I thought it'd be fun to do like a little video log series of like everything that I watched or listened to or read in a week, just like kind of document it and like see where I was at. Or just like share things that I've gotten recommended or like, I don't know, just stuff that I've been doing. Okay, so I wanted, because Spotify made that new feature where you can see like the top 5 songs and top 5 artists that you've listened to every week. So I think I'm just gonna go through that for last week, which was, I don't know what Monday was, but today's June 6th. So whatever the week before that was, like when it started and ended, this was like my top 5. So I do listen to music on YouTube as well, and so I think I have some of these might actually be in a different order. But my number one song last week was Paris by Taylor Swift. Um, Probably because she was so in love that she couldn't stop breathing. Because she got married on the 3rd. I'm not sure if she actually got married on the 3rd or the 4th. Like, I'm not sure like when that part of the ceremony took place, or if she got, I feel like she probably would have gotten legally married before, because like something crazy could have happened at this wedding. So I'm sure it was all more just like a formality and then like a party. Although I don't know, there were reports that there was like a 20-minute vows, which she would have 20-minute vows if you watch that songwriters video. um oh, sorry, the Songwriters Hall of Fame, her speech. I didn't watch all of it. I watched the Swiftologist and Matt Lizard's review of it. I don't know why I call her Matt Lizard. Whatever. Those two, my favorite podcasters in the world. They were talking about it, and I watched that. I did see her clip, like, where she's, like, glazing somber, and she's saying, like, he's the future because he doesn't use AI. Whatever, they don't understand. They're so old. Okay. Anyways, my number one song last week was Paris by Taylor Swift. I was also listening to, like, the Swiftologist playlist, like, the emotional chronology of, the Maddie Healy interlude. And I don't know, I just think that's, like, it's like the story of illicit affairs. It's just so interesting, like, the way that narrative played out. And Paris, I think, is part of that, because the 1975s also has a song called Paris, and both of the songs are about, like, you never actually went to Paris. It's like the dream that there's this place where the love could have taken place. I don't know. It's very interesting, and I think both of the songs sound good, minus some corny lines in Taylor's song. I don't know if there's any corny lines in the 1975's Paris. I think it's one of their, like, more, like, well-written songs, like, emotional ballads. Like, that and A Change of Heart, I think, are my 2 favorite of their, like, slow songs. I generally don't like when he goes slow, like, when he starts crooning, because he can't sing. Sometimes he can, I don't know. It like, is a day-to-day thing with him. But I think when he really tries, he can sound good, but sometimes he's like inside your mind, or what's that, I Couldn't Be More in Love. He doesn't sound good on those 2 songs. Yeah, so, oh, I listened to the entire brief inquiry. What is the full name? A Brief Inquiry into Online Relationships. I listened to the whole thing, like, front to back, for the first time this week. And I think it's still my least favorite 1975 album, like, in its entirety. Or, okay, maybe their first album, like the deluxe version, where there's, like, so many songs and all the remixes, like the one that came out in 2013. That is probably the worst album. But I don't know. It's just like I like that album a lot. The aesthetic of it. And I don't know, they're never gonna make another record like that one again, but I feel like they could make another record like A Brief Inquiry, so it's kind of replaceable to me. But It's Not Living If It's Not With You was my most played song of last year, so I don't know how much of a Brief Inquiry hater I am. It's good, but it's like, I feel like it has most skips, like that song about the robot, and then I Couldn't Be More in Love, and then Inside Your Mind, I think are all skips. I don't like them. So anyways, that's another thing I listened to, was that whole album in its entirety. But my number 2 most played song on Spotify was "Early Morning" by Britney Spears. I listened to "In the Zone" front to back for the first time, and I really got into that album because I was doing it on my walks, and it's very motivational, that album, to get you through slogs in the outdoors. And I think it has one of the most interesting album cover, like the way that she's looking on that album cover. It's like, it reminds me of the 1989 album cover almost. Like, I feel like that's kind of what she was going for. Like, it's like this like mysterious, like the like crystal blue, like alluring thing. I don't know, I really like the album cover. I might add it to my wall back there. Early Morning, greatest song ever made. I actually think it was the song I listened to the most this week because I was also listening to it on YouTube while I was like working on stuff. I just figured out how to log into Spotify on my computer, but I don't know, for some reason it's like then I have to like transfer back to my phone, so I always just listen to music on YouTube when I'm on my computer. So yeah, Early Morning, greatest song ever made, people are saying it. And then number 3 was New Better Part 2 from the deluxe or 10th anniversary edition of Dangerous Woman. Also, I think that is Ariana's best album cover. I love it. Ariana has really good album covers, honestly. I don't think she's ever had a bad one. I mean, maybe Thank You Next, just because it's like a repeat Sweetener and like a less interesting version of the Sweetener album cover. But I like the color because I feel like that color really encapsulates the feeling of that album. Anyways, but Dangerous Woman has the hits. Because a lot of the songs on Dangerous Woman are like not written by Ariana at all, I believe. Like, most of them, I think. They don't sound like her or like things that she would say today, and she's never gonna make another Dangerous Woman. But New Better Part 2 is really good, and I like the original version. I'd never heard it before, but I like saw this one was kind of going a little bit viral. I don't know how big it was, but it's really good. I like this song, New Better Part 2. I played it 6 times. I think I was also listening to this one on my computer, so maybe it was a little bit more than that. And then my number 4 and 5 were both songs from In the Zone because I was just playing the album a bunch of times. My number 4 is I Got That Boom Boom feat with the Yin Yang Twins. I love this song. We Became Friends. I love that. I really like that song. And I remember Quinta Brunson was talking about like how Gen Z doesn't like fun music and that like we're all like into the sad like indie sleaze thing. She thinks we're boring. Millennials love to talk about Gen Z. Have you noticed this? Like they're obsessed with us. I feel like every generation is obsessed with why they're better than the generation that's below them. And like I don't know. I feel like it's already happening with Gen Z and Gen Alpha because like I don't know what Gen Alpha really is, but it's other than like 6, 7 and like the Rizzler and all of that. And that just seems so brain rotty, but like I feel like if you're not in it, you really don't understand. And I don't think they're on like AI and ChatGPT as much as people think they are. Like I don't think it's rotting their brains out of their heads like the way that most people think it is, because like structure still exists, like rules still exist, punishments exist. Like people aren't just like melting in front of your eyes. Like not everyone's brain is atrophying. Actually, I think you're worried about your brain atrophying, and you should be, because every day gets older and older. Yeah, so I Got That Boom Boom, not my number 4 most played song this week. I love In the Zone. And then my number 5 was Me Against the Music with Madonna. It's a lot like Bring Your Love, but it's like way better than Bring Your Love. Because Sabrina didn't bring anything interesting to Bring Your Love. And Madonna was just doing the exact same thing she was doing on Me Against the Music. I do think it's crazy that this was the lead single and not Toxic. Like, she was wrong for that. Like, it's a good song, but I don't know. I don't like it when lead single is like the opening track of the album, because that feels like what everybody is doing, like Drop Dead, Fortnite. It's always, I don't know, maybe it's just those two girls, but like I don't like it. I don't like it. And I'm kind of like into I always want a lead single, but then when I have it, it just changes your relationship with that song forever. Like, you can never take it in the same way and make it like your favorite and like have it like that individualistic like attachment to it that you can with album tracks. Like, Purple is my favorite song, but I can't even like think about Drop Dead in the way that I can think about like the rest of the album, because it's just like that was Drop Dead, and like I always kind of skip it because I want to get to like all the new album tracks and like the story. But yeah, so maybe I don't want lead singles, but then I also want it so bad before the albums come out, so I don't know, maybe just finish the album and drop it earlier, or like less time between announcement and album. But I understand they need to like build anticipation for it, and I think she actually did a really good job building anticipation for this. But I will never forget the like 3 single lead up she had to Sour. There was just something in the air with Sour. Like, it was just perfect the way she did it, and I was like, I don't know, I wasn't really as into music then, and I didn't really understand like how albums worked, and so I was like, what do you mean she's coming out with an album? Like, I thought she was just doing these 3 songs. But talk about a 3 single run, like Driver's License, Deja Vu, I said that weird, Driver's License, Deja Vu, and then Good For You. I was kind of a Good For You hater, but now I understand its brilliance and its excellence, that I've gotten more into like that kind of pop punk moment. And Hayley Williams has returned with her album from last year. Let's see, I wonder when she'll put something out again. Her future is like so uncertain. Her and Jack Antonoff could be starting a band for all that I know. Her, Maddie, and Jack, that would be, and Phoebe. Things would be cooked. I don't know if I'm ready to digest all of that. But yeah, I love a pop punk moment, and I love Sour. But I do think, I don't know, for some reason, I think when a new album comes out, I decide like what my favorite album by the artist is, or I reevaluate my relationship with it. And since she only has 3 albums, I think Guts is my favorite right now. I was listening to that a couple weeks ago on like late night walks and stuff, and for some reason it was really doing something for me. Like, Making the Bed, kind of the greatest song ever made if you really think about it, because you know, that's self-accountability. It's great. There isn't really a self-accountability song on this record. I feel like this is the first time she's never been, there isn't like a lot of like there's a lot less self-doubt and a lot less like punishing yourself kind of mentality, which I don't know, I feel like we need to strike a little bit of a balance with that, because My Way exists now, and before we had things like Happier and Pretty Isn't Pretty and Jealousy. Like, there isn't really a that moment on this record, which maybe that's just like the dwindling of teenage insecurity, but like My Way is the most juvenile song she's ever put out, so I don't know, but it exists. Isn't it crazy that My Way came out on this record and not Sour? Like, that is insane, because I don't know, maybe it's just the regression of like liberalism and being nice to people that's going on, that My Way Exists is coming out in this year. Maybe it's fitting. Maybe it says something about the culture. Anyways, yeah, so those are my top 5 songs that I listened to. And then my top 5 artists were Taylor, then Britney, then the 1975, probably because I listened to their whole album. And then I think I listened to The Sound, and I listened to About You a bunch of times, actually, and it just didn't make it onto the list, I guess, because I was going on walks and listening to it, and then I was also listening to the Ratty Healy interlude playlist. And then I have Ariana, because I was listening to New Better Part 2, like, a ton. I don't know if I listened to any other Ariana this week. I think I listened to Hate That I Made You Love Me once. But I'm always hearing it. It's like in the ether. I don't know what's going on because it's not a hit. It's not. Like it's not going to be a lasting Ariana Grande hit. And her first singles usually aren't like Focus, Flop, what else? I mean, Thank You Next wasn't a flop, but Seven Rings was bigger. And I never listened to Thank You Next as a song because it's just a music video to me. It's not really a song. Yeah, so that's why Ariana's number 4. And then 5 was Olivia. I don't know if I listened to anything from You Seem Pretty Sad this week. Maybe I listened to Purple on my computer, but I don't know what I was listening to on Spotify that got her on here. Maybe it was Guts. I don't know. Anyways, so that was music. Oh, and then I've been rewatching old Popcast, because I just decided I like them because Madeline from The Evolution of a Snake in the Lizard Review, she said that she likes the Popcast guys. And honestly, all it takes, like, for me to start, like, taking someone seriously is for, like, someone that I consume a lot of their media and information. And I'm like, oh, you like them? I'm like, I don't know. I just didn't like that it was 2 guys, like, talking about pop music, and they were saying, like, they make a lot of, like, blanket sweeping generalizations that I think are afforded to them because they're associated with the New York Times, and they don't get into Taylor's lore a lot. I mean, they do, like, they ask hard questions when they're doing their interviews and stuff, but, like, I don't like the kind of fans that they are. Like, they're not fans like the Swiftologists and, like, Madeline are. They have a very, very different relationship to Taylor, and I like Joe a lot. I think Joe is interesting, and I also feel like he's hiding something. I don't know. He's got, like, kind of a veneer to him. But I'm starting to like their dynamic because Madeline said she likes them, and I'm starting to appreciate things about the way that they consume pop music. And honestly, there's like, there's so much hatred in the world. Like you can't be hating on the people who are talking about the fun things, And really, they do appreciate Taylor. Like I was watching their video where they like ranked all the Taylor Swift albums, which their ranking was insane to put Fearless at number 3. It's insane. I understand that older Taylor Swift fans have this psychosis with Fearless, and they think it's the greatest album ever made, and there are 5 songs on Fearless that are the greatest songs that were ever made. Love Story, You Belong With Me, Fearless title track, Hey Steven, and number 5. Okay, I'll give Forever and Always, and Tell Me Why, Taylor's version, and Mr. Perfectly Fine. Those songs, okay, I know I listed like a lot of songs, but those songs are excellent, like A tier, amazing, never been done before, show-stopping, but I feel like most of Fearless is boring. And I feel like most people skip most of the songs on Fearless, other than like the 7 that I just named. What is another one? Did I say Tell Me Why? Yeah, I think I did. But only Taylor's version. And then, I guess White Horse and 15, they suffer from a begged and less type of boringness that I just am not really like a fan of. It's like profundity for what? Like, I mean, maybe if I was like, I don't know, 15 and I had the songs, I would appreciate it more, but I don't like to listen to those 2. But I guess, I don't know, if it was like a 9-track album, can that be a thing? I don't know. That's kind of too short. What else is on there? I don't know. But, Fearless is really important, and I think it's I think it's definitely top 5 of her album covers. And it has some of her best, it has a lot of really good hits. But I personally am not like a Fearless person. I feel like I'm much more Red, Evermore, Tortured Poets Department coded. But also sometimes I'm like Midnight, Speak Now, Folklore. I don't know. I feel like those three albums grouped together to like create a very specific type of person. But then there's also the Speak Now, Reputation, Evermore person, which I'm not that, but I can understand and recognize and appreciate that person. Yeah. And then I feel like 1989, Folklore, and Midnights also do group together in a very interesting way. I feel like that's also a type of person, a type of thing. Yeah, but Fearless is great. Why did I start? Oh, yeah, because they ranked Fearless so high. I was like, what? And people will hate on Midnights, but it is one of the most streamable albums in history. And like the fact that like Dear Reader and Woulda Coulda Shoulda are bonus tracks, and Gracie Abrams like doesn't have, I don't know, like she doesn't have a single song that's as interesting as what's being said on, and she's a lot younger, and she has time to get there, and I like Gracie Abrams, but it's like those are bonus tracks, like those are like lead single like levels of writing and intrigue, and I don't know, there's a lot to Midnights, and I walk a lot at night, so I appreciate Midnights for what it is. These haters. And Midnights is more streamable than Tortured Poets Standard Edition. It is. It is more streamable. And I don't know if that makes it better. It probably doesn't. But it's interesting. I like it. Everyone likes it. Okay, whatever. But like Midnights is always getting ranked so low, and I'm just like, why? I would rather listen to Midnights than Speak Now, and maybe that is because I'm younger, but like I feel like I see Speak Now for what it is, and I love mine, and I love a lot of the album. Dear John, Greatest Song Ever Made, Better Than Revenge, Rocks Hard, but like I don't like Back to December, and I feel like if you don't get Back to December, you're not really gonna get Speak Now the way that it was meant to be understood. But Hours is in my top 10 favorite Taylor Swift songs. I love Hours because people do throw rocks at things that shine, and they're throwing rocks and they're throwing them hard. So yeah, I was watching the Popcast interview, and that's why I'm thinking about like ranking Taylor albums. What else did I watch? I watched the Swiftologist video where it was like ranking her fashion. And I always think it's so funny that they do that. I don't know where they got that idea, but I think it's very interesting. Because I've never been someone who like dresses well, or really gotten into that kind of thing. So it's like, it's more fun than anything to talk about Taylor's outfits. Because I don't really think she takes it that seriously either. Like, she just dresses to kill her time. We've been knowing that. And yeah, so I watched that video. And I started reading God of the Woods. I'm like, I just got to the part where, this is spoilers, I guess. They're talking about Alice, who's Barbara's mom, like her origin story and how she met Peter and all of that. And I'm very intrigued by the Luis, I think his name's Lee, and then whatever her fiance's name, like that love triangle seems very interesting to me. What happened to Bear? Who did this Jacob Slutier guy kill? What's going on with Barbara and Tracy? Where is Barbara? These are all questions that need to be answered. And then I also listened to a lot of the Lizard Review because I'm still on her Substack, because it is the best deal in Hollywood. So I listen to her like every day. I listened to her, she was talking about SZA, the ones I listened to today, but I'm putting it in this week's video, I guess. Yeah, I love SZA. The first time I ever really heard SZA was with All the Stars. I used to listen to All the Stars all the time, sped up and reverbed on YouTube, like while I was in computer class in like the 8th grade. I love All the Stars. And then, but when SOS came out, I was like, it just reminds me of like darkness, because it was during like Christmas break in 2022, and I got the flu, and like the first time I like left my bed or like left my room was like I went on a bike ride, because I was like missing all of my, because I used to be a swimmer, and like during, I don't know, but like during Christmas break, it's like insane for swimmers, like you like practice twice a week, and I always like it, like swimming gave me such like a sense of purpose and like a mission in life, and it was like tangible results, like you work really hard and like you just like put all of yourself into it, and you get better than other people, and you get better, you like beat yourself, and it's like, well, I don't know, I always like, I just being good at swimming like puts you higher, and like I don't know, it just like made me feel better about myself, and it like gave me like a clear way to like channel all of my energy. So yeah, I was a swimmer, but I had the flu, so I missed like a week of winter training. That was like, it's maybe the sickest I've ever actually been, and it was like, it felt good because I got diagnosed right on the first try. Like for some reason, every time I go to the doctor to get diagnosed for something, it's always like negative the first time, so I just feel like I'm crazy because I'm just sick. And then but I got diagnosed and I had the flu, and so I just stayed in my room for a week. But the first time I went out, it was like, I don't know how late it was, because it gets like dark earlier in the winter, so maybe it was like 8, I don't know, but it had been like a week of me just like bed rotting and like dying and being miserable. And so then I went outside, and like SZA's album had just came out, and I was like so like drawn in by the album cover and like the scene that she was setting, and I think I heard some of the singles, and SZA's like cool and interesting, and it's like nobody's gonna be like, what, if you say you like SZA. But I went out and I was listening to it, and I don't know, it just reminds me of that time. What else did I watch this week? Did I watch any TV? I don't think I did. Did I go to the movies? Oh, I mean, I walked in, my mom had rented the drama last Sunday, and she was watching that. And so I saw like the last 45 minutes of the drama, so I know how it ends. But I didn't see like the actual scene where she reveals that she like wanted to be a school shooter or something. But I don't know. I thought Robert, that was like the best acting I'd ever seen Zendaya do. So I'm very, very excited for the Odyssey and Spider-Man. Because actually the way that the last Spider-Man left off was the most interesting ending to any of the Spider-Man movies, I believe. But Tom Holland is my Spider-Man. Like, I appreciate Andrew Garfield, and I really, really like him. Hate Tobey Maguire. I think he's like one of the most sinister people in Hollywood. Like, he just seems like he has some dark, dark secrets. And he's always in Saint-Tropez or whatever, so he's also never really been in anything else outside of that, I think, other than like The Great Gatsby, right? Yeah, nothing of note. Oh, he's in Boss Baby. Okay, well, I guess I have seen that. Yeah, so excited for the Odyssey, excited for Spider-Man. I saw Obsession. I have a poster back there, but that was like months ago. I saw that like by myself at 11 a.m. because I had like just gotten back from school, and I was like bored out of my mind and like too lazy to like get my act together and do anything. So Obsession, movie of the summer, more likely than you think. But I am so excited for the Odyssey because I also love Greek mythology. Did I listen to anything else? Is there any podcasts? I'm sure I rewatched some Swiftologist because I'm always doing that. Oh, I watched his video about Taylor's wedding, and I watched